Hey Saints, good evening. Uh, well, a couple of things. First, uh, we're going to do a live show tomorrow night, same time, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, on Pastor Patrick's YouTube channel. We're going to be looking at symbols in the Bible. And I think many people that study prophecy know how to take the prophetic passages, maybe Daniel, Revelation, and know how to use those symbols in there to understand what the literal meaning behind the symbolic language is. But we're going to go through that, but I'm also going to go to the second layer, as we say, or the third layer of the onion. We're going to take a look at some examples that demonstrate why I really think the Holy Spirit used the strategy of symbols in passages. And there's subtle allusions that are used in some of these passages that are pretty deep, and it points back again to the hand of God and the sovereignty of His Word being designed way before the events happened. And so I hope you join us there. I'll post the link to the Pastor Patrick's YouTube channel down below this little intro video. But a couple of things. I haven't done a news video in a little bit. It's just a flood of stuff. Here I'm looking at, okay, granted, it's Sputnik News, it's propaganda coming out of Russia. Okay, check. But there was a big Islamist sort of a rally around the NATO/US base in Turkey, that Incirlik base that has the up to 90 tactical nukes that are stored there, and that's on the heels of the coup attempt that was blamed on the US. And after this, the police came in. I think I had that here too. Turkish police block access to NATO's Incirlik air base. I forget who the Millennium Report, oh, that was another Sputnik article. Millennium Report catalogs some of these more relevant articles, so I like scanning sometimes the headlines on there just to see what they're looking at. And so, first it was the Islamists that were riled up because the coup came from, probably engineered from that Incirlik base. And then, as you see, the police came in. Now, I think things are back to normal, but this is August 1st, that in the evening here in the U.S., I can't be positive that they, meaning Turkey, suspected a second coup attempt being engineered even from that Incirlik air base after the first failed one. I haven't read any other articles confirming actions to that degree. Just like Erdogan capitalized on that failed coup attempt to clean house, maybe that second coup attempt could be rumor to once again, clean house in a sense. I'm not sure. You can definitely see Turkey backing away from NATO, and there was a article I saw earlier today about a threat that Turkey would be kicked out of NATO, which I guess wouldn't be any shock if that actually happened here. And then kind of coming across here, Zero Hedge. I just popped up a couple of articles here on Zero Hedge. Angry traders, or a trader's angry rant, economic numbers don't mean anything anymore. I think we all kind of know what's kind of going on is the data. I saw another article that said that the economic indicators would suggest, I think it was the supply chain in the U.S. or yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it was another chart that looked like this where the actual data was trending down like a recession, but the stock market's hitting all-time highs, and um, it's evidence of engineering at some level. Now the Fed has obviously been monkeying around, but this is really kind of a strange place we're in right now. But I guess expected, because global economy is going to collapse. We see that in the third seal, Revelation 6, after the church is gone, before the seals are open. Okay. Here, Germany furious after Turkey issues an ultimatum and threatens with the refugee exodus. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the EU was paying Turkey to house these refugees. And isn't that convenient? The very member country of NATO that's the tip of the spear for the refugee crisis right now. Oh, everything's going sour. So, shocking if Turkey let loose a whole bunch of the refugees, told them, they got to move into the Europe to be fed or something. Here's another one. Italian banks crash despite all clear from the EU stress test. Oh, boy, there's a shock. Deutsche Bank's another one to watch. I think there's something big just happened with Deutsche Bank today. I want to say they got delisted somewhere. But that's a huge, huge bank. That's a bank too big to fail kind of situation. So that one could definitely tip, the global economy. And is war inevitable in the South China Sea? Probably. Yeah, and then Merkel just sort of doubled down, saying that she wasn't going to change her stance on immigration policy, and how these things go hand in hand. I mean, come on. After people been murdered and raped and all that, nope, bring them all in. And then you got Turkey threatening to unleash a wave on Europe. Should probably just let that happen as well. Yeah. And then I thought this was interesting, just doing some searches. Why was Iran so quick to rally behind Erdogan after the coup attempt? And just more evidence, this is a Middle Eastern deal, more evidence of the Gog-Magog war. Russia was the one that exposed, supposedly, the coup attempt and saved Erdogan from being murdered. His plane was being chased, supposedly. Then you got Iran here rallying behind him, and the person that Turkey pointed to in the U.S. that supposedly engineered the coup attempt was really anti-Iranian, and so it's one more reason why Iran is quick to jump in, besides there's economic ties between Turkey and Iran. So you can just see all these things building toward the Gog-Magog war. I went out with some friends tonight and saw that recent Jason Bourne movie. I forget the title. I really don't go watch many movies anymore. I mean, all you have to do is look at a handful of those videos that people do now that break down all the Illuminati symbolism in movies, and that's all you can see anymore if you know what you're looking for. And tonight was no exception. It's nonstop action packed. If you've never seen one of these Jason Bourne movies, it's nonstop action, shooting, all this type of stuff, which doesn't fire me up anymore. I was really, that was really my deal back, right when I was born again. I would have seen every one of those movies right before that. And then it was one of those things that slowly kind of let go. But, friends invite you, and those are exciting movies, So I said, yep, I'll go see that. But I'll just break something down for you, just, 2 minutes here. Somebody's going to have a field day with that movie once out on DVD because it's just littered with Illuminati stuff. But 2 minutes into the film, in a very up close, little intense scene, the guy takes the Lord's name in vain, really, not like under his breath, really right into the camera, very dramatic. And as the movie was rolling on, of course, you got all the violence and all this stuff going on, but one of the scenes, one of the most intense parts of the movie, if there really is a part that's more intense than those things, they show, I think they were actually in Las Vegas, but all I remember is bombs going off, and all of a sudden this car was racing through, and all you can see out the car's windows from the angle that the camera was in is a big pyramid building, with the darkened top or with the all-seeing eye top or whatever. It might have even been in Las Vegas. That was part of the movie. I can't remember. It might be the pyramid building in Las Vegas, the Luxor or whatever that is. But it was, camera position was just so, it was the intense part of the movie. And it's right out the windows of this car where the camera was just highlighting, the the pyramid and the all-seeing eye deal right out the window. So I'm like, oh, come on. And so we're going through and toward the end of the movie, and I'm not spoiling nothing if anybody actually wants to go see this movie. It's exciting, right? But the main character played by Matt Damon, his name in the movie is Jason Bourne, and they are talking to him, trying to get him to, come out of his rogue status, and they're quoting his accomplishments. He's supposed to have been a former CIA agent that went rogue, and they're quoting his accomplishments, and they go 32 kills, and it was again highlighted. Well, there's your Freemason, reference 32 level Freemasonry, and what's the top level that people talk about is the 33rd level. So they're always mentioned one and then the other, and sure enough, it wasn't 5 minutes past the movie from the 32 kill reference, and the arch enemy of Jason Bourne in the movie that was trying to get him, Jason Bourne kills him, so he's 33. You could read into that, but that's, they were 5 minutes apart. It was pretty obvious. So there you go. You got your, Freemasonic. And then how does the movie close? Walking in the park in Washington, D.C. with the, obelisk, Washington Monument right in the background. I mean, it was just, that's just stuff, the scenes were going by 3,000, events a minute, and that was just stuff that, I caught as it was flying by. If somebody ends up getting this, and if we're all still here, and they pick apart that movie from like a DVD, I bet there's going to be dozens of references, because those are just ones, I saw as the movie was playing. So there you go, another little plug for the coming Lucifer worshiping controls. Oh, that's the other thing. The whole plot to this movie was a secret CIA plan to put in the ultimate control and surveillance system. I'm like, oh, come on. Might as well just call it the Beast system. They might have called it the Revelation, 13 Beast system while they were at it. I mean, it was just so blatant. But I think in part it's like all that preconditioning. So when some of these events start to actually take place, you know, people will be conditioned to, oh yeah, this makes sense. This is why, this is why the government has to do this type of thing. So I'll leave you there tonight, Saints. It's getting a little bit late here, but you know, the movie was just over the top with the Illuminati stuff. But then, hey, look how close we're getting, right? It's all expected. Look at all the news that's out there. So hope to see you guys, you know, tomorrow night in the live show, Lord willing, and you know, hopefully it'll be a blessing for you.